Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda. Today I'm playing with Stretch the Sketch, which is using Follow a Sketch February, which is by Karen Gerber from Sketchabilities. And I'm also using my Counterfeit Kit challenge to do this layout. I did a little bit of prep work doing all these flip books off screen. So I just add a quarter an inch around my pictures and then double it to make those. And then I do have this stencil from, I got it from MK from Some Assemblage Required. I think it's probably a Scrapping Reflections one anyway, so that's who puts on the Follow a Sketch February. I do believe. I'm not entirely perfectly sure on that one, but anywho, I am using this as a direct representation on the sketch, because on the sketch it is definitely brick, and I wasn't sure I was going to use the brick, but my daughter, who's in this picture for Sesame Street Live, who is now an adult, said, yeah, Mom, that works. You should do the brick. So I was like, okay. And then I had so many pictures of Sesame Street Live. It's a little ridiculous, actually. But I have lots of pictures still. But I'll probably do a pocket page for in between these two. Probably. And then, yeah. But there's like a ton on here already with all the flips. But I'm getting distracted. So the pictures of the Sesame Street Live, my daughter actually picked out the ones that she liked the best so that they could go in here, because this was all for her. And so you can see my husband in the background of some of the pictures, but oh man, did she ever have fun with this. And so obviously I'm there too, taking pictures. She had little like figurines that she brought with. She was just over the moon to see Elmo and Cookie Monster and Big Bird. So it was quite a bit of fun. So there we go. So that one follows the sketch pretty closely, and then I'm extending it to be a double page layout, because that's what Stretch the Sketch is doing it your layout at is a different size. And so I am going to have a couple more pictures come across this. I had debated on putting some of them over across where the seam is and cutting pictures, but I struggle with that, so I didn't. And so then Elmo is going to go over here, because I picked up this sticker set just after we went to see Elmo. So it's been in my stash a long time, and I'm just amazed I could find it. So, quite amazed I could find it. So that's pretty cute. I'm liking the red brick, mostly because there is red brick in the Sesame Street show, and yeah, why not? So, I'm just putting the pictures in, pulling them off to see where I need some more, putting them back in, deciding where I want this photo to be. So about there. I was just lining it up with the 5x7 on the other side, because I want the height to be similar for the two larger pictures. And then I goobered on the bottom there, so I'm just going to cover it with more ink. Wipe my hands off because I am full of ink, and yeah, I don't want to make more of a mess like that. And then getting this on, I'm using my T-square so it's straight, and then I am making sure it's lined up, and then this is just going to slide in and overlap. And then Elmo definitely has to go there, so he's waving, because on this top picture of the one I'm going to put down right now, Matea is waving at Elmo on stage. So I thought, why not have Elmo wave back to her on her scrapbook page? And then I'm going to use all the other little bits and pieces from Elmo. So there's the Sesame Street butterflies, there's Elmo's pet fish, So I was like, yep, that all works. And then my title's going to go underneath that picture where Matea is waving, and I'm just going to call it Sesame Street Live. So I'm going to do the Sesame Street in this dollar store red alpha, but it's like the same red as Elmo. And so I was like, that is perfect. It works really well. So I'm not going to make you watch all of this. Yay! Those are done. And then I'm going to do the live in the block letters because I thought that'd be fun. And so there's that. Then I decided it needed just a little bit of sparkle. So I'm using these green, they're almost tealish jewels. And they're the same color as what's on stage. So I thought that would work well and tie in that color a little bit. They're also very similar to what's on the butterflies. So I thought that'd be cute. And I don't have any red ones. They're more orangey on here. So if I had red ones, they probably would have got red ones. And then I'm going to do some splatter because there was definitely some splatter on the sketch. And I was doing really well trying to like cover up Elmo, but while I was on the other side, it got splattered on him anyway. So I use a wet wipe and clean them up as best as I can, but and then I smudge it, and so I'm going to splatter some more because it's smudged now, and oh well. And a little more there, and then I forgot that on this one I forgot to put a picture on, which is what I was planning on doing right there. So I'm like, yep, I need one more picture. So I'm going to use this one here in a second with Big Bird. And I forget this little blue monster because that blue monster was not a monster when I was a kid, but definitely was a monster when Matea watched it. So Zoe, maybe. There was Zoe and Abby. I don't know. Just wiping that off because, of course, it was not dry when I flipped it up again. And here are some close-ups. This actually only took me about a half an hour to make, probably like 40 minutes by the time I got the flip parts done. And then here are some close-ups. Elmo does not photograph well with his fuzzy fur, and it is definitely a fuzzy sticker, so which is great. And then just some more so you can see the bits and pieces, because there's lots there because it's a 2-pager. So there will be a follow the sketch link below. There will also be a stretch the sketch link below for playlists, as well as the follow a sketch Facebook page is Scrapping Reflections. I'll have her linked below as well, and I'll have my counterfeit kit challenge linked as well. Thank you so much for watching today. If you liked my video, I would love it if you liked, subscribed, and commented. Thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful day.